episode. It's like, are you kidding me?
What?
I can do
You need to
this.
use that.
I know, right? And
Come on.
I can change them too, so I can make it like anything.
Oh my gosh.
God, Jesus.
I'd be messing with that all the time.
I know.
Just like fucking with people too while they're talking.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like they're bright neon colors too, like these big squares. I'll show a picture of it, but it's like an easy as pie. But yeah, so this is episode 14, and I have a really good question. But I'll ask in a second because it's pretty fucking funny. So, anyways, episode 14, and I'm here with Sasshole Jewels Taylor from Sasshole Jewels.
Hey.
God, such an awesome name. So, little minor background. She makes some really unique, really cool little niche, jewelry. But she also does some other stuff as well in the jewelry field, as well as some stuff. We'll get into that. We'll touch base a little bit. So we'll be going into that. So looking at the outline, looking at what you're going to expect from this podcast. A lot of shit talking, a lot of bad language, I'd imagine. Sounds like it before we talk. Yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
So we're going to get into the process, creating jewelry, a little bit of that inspiration that she finds, process of creating it, different types of metals, different types of materials you use, little men in jewelry, women jewelry, and then memorial bands as well, which I think is going to be really cool. But a little enough of me. How are you doing tonight?
I'm fantastic. I actually ended up taking the day off today.
Damn.
Yeah. It ended up being a great beach day as well.
Excellent.
So that was pretty rad. Yeah.
And you're also East Coast, which is nice. Finally.
Yeah.
Some fellow East Coasters. Thank God.
Hey.
So how's the
Virginia Beach?
Yeah. I've actually never been. I feel like I know a lot of people from Virginia Beach, but I've actually never been to Virginia Beach.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. I used to dog it so much when I was younger.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. Yeah.
I think that happens a lot. I think that happens a lot too as you get older, growing up and stuff. It's like, man, this fucking city sucks, or like, man, I'd rather be anywhere but here. And then when you get older, like, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Exactly.
Cool. What's the I always like asking this question too. It's like, what's the weather like right now?
So right now it was almost in the 90s today.
Damn.
Sunny, gorgeous. Yeah. Earlier this week it was a little bit chilly, which I like. I love fall. I love being able to layer and just throw a beanie on because I don't like having to do much. So I was loving that, but then you can't argue with an 86-degree sunny day either.
I hear that. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
All over the place.
It has. That's like how it's been here too, and it's like been 1 week it was like 70, and then it's funny because people were like, oh, it's gonna be like 30 something. I'm like, shit, I'm just waiting for it to get 50 degrees, man. It's like that's kind of gets a little cool to me, but good stuff. As always, the 3 goofy questions, one of my favorite parts, and. We mentioned childhood, growing up and stuff like that. So this one I think always hits home. What is a favorite food from your childhood? It can be, from when you were like really little, or it can be like through high school. What was a favorite food of yours?
Oh man, that is such a wild question for me because I like so many different things. I'm gonna have to say that. One of the things I miss from childhood. I grew up in California.
Sure.
When I was younger, and so an In-N-Out burger, man, that was like my favorite thing. I was like a fat kid too, so that was animal style all the way.
Okay, so I unfortunately I can't relate to that one. I haven't been able to experience that yet. One day.
Yeah. A lot. Some people are like, In-N-Out is not all that it is hyped up to be, and I can honestly say I have had better burgers, but there's just something about the sauce.
Yeah, that sauce.
Yeah, it's so good. It's the sauce.
It's the sauce. You can get lost in the sauce.
Oh, you can.
I feel like I had to put that in there at some point. So that works out.
Of course.
Awesome. I was about to say, so I had this weird obsession growing up, and it was this Chester cheese, the Chester hot fries.
Okay.
It's the ones, the $2 bag, dude. For some reason, I had the metabolism of I was just through the roof. I could eat anything and did not put any weight on. But man, it did catch up with me later.
Lucky.
No, not much. You know, it didn't last long. It didn't last long. So, but yeah, so I could just mow down these damn things, and I'm pretty sure it put a hole in my stomach because it was like battery acid. Like that's what it was eating. It's awful for you. Don't eat those things. They're terrible.
But they're so good.
God, they are so good though.
The spice, man.
Oh man, they are. They're pretty good. They're pretty good. I hadn't had them in a while because I gave them up. I was like health wise, like I've really got to stop. But
did you go cold turkey?
I did. Like, so
damn.
So if you, I'm trying to think of what it's called, man. So I gave it up for Lent at one point, like in high school, like my senior year or something like that. And like, you know, for Lent, so like, you know, people have different interpretations of like Lent for, you know, like, and I was, you know, growing up Catholic and stuff. So it's like you kind of give up something that you like are obsessed over, or something that you should give up or you don't need to live with. And like, so like that was my way of like breaking the habit. And I remember like giving them up, and like I ate them afterwards, like it's like a month or so. And it's not that bad, you know. And I ate them, and I was like, God, these are so fucking bad, but they're so good. And you know, I don't know, it's just, I don't know, it's weird. Like I just kind of stopped right then and there. It's like,
wow.
Well, it's weird. But I do say, I'll say that I used to get like a Snicker bar and a Yoo-hoo on the way home from like trips and stuff like that. And I feel like that's actually the more favorite food from childhood, like an iconic, I don't know, like brings back like memories and stuff like that. So
yeah, I guess like a Slurpee too after soccer games. That was always a fun thing. Or orange slices even at a soccer game with a Capri Sun.
Oh man.
Mountain Cooler.
Yeah, those are the days, or Tang, if you remember Tang.
Oh yes, Tang. The kick in the mouth. Wasn't that Tang? I'm pretty sure it was.
I'm pretty sure. Maybe, I can't remember, but I just remember the orangutan jumping around in the TV commercials. But yeah, it was awesome. Awesome. So question number 2, because we just talked like 3 minutes about food and stuff, and it's just making me fucking hungry.
I could talk about food all day.
Oh, dude. Oh, me too. I could okay. See, we've already gone like another minute. So additionally with like food and, you know, childhood and stuff like that, I think something that's always iconic, and 'tis the season. It is October. What is your favorite horror film, scary movie? You know, it can be more iconic, or it can be one that you hate, or, you know, growing up, etc. What you thinking? What was your favorite scary movie?
Oh man. Okay, so I absolutely hate scary movies.
Oh no.
I'm like the person who screams at like the littlest thing, but I laugh. Like I love being scared though, so I'll like. I don't know. I guess I'm a glutton for punishment, man. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to say my favorite, yet I also hate it at the same time. The Grudge. That movie freaked me out so bad, and I know it's not like your traditional Halloween movie, sure. But that movie terrified me to the point, I'll admit, I was in high school when I saw that. I slept in my mom's room for a couple of days after I saw it. And I used to have a classmate that would call my house and like make the Grudge noise into the phone.
Oh my God.
But you have caller ID, so you like know it's like someone, like, dude, I know it's you. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, you're really starting to freak me out, and stop it.
Like you're like a tad too good at doing that voice. Like that's
that movie got me. That one, terrible. The fucking Grudge. The girl, so scary.
So,
anyways,
it's been a while since I've seen that movie. Like I could probably watch it again and not remember everything, but there's something about like, inhuman like movement. Like I don't like that. That gives me just gives me like, you know, just freaks me out. Like I don't like when like limbs are like elongated either. I don't know. That's a weird thing. And like, you know,
she calls down the stairs.
See stuff like that, or like, you know, like bad like movement, like stuff like cracking sounds. Man, grosses me out.
The kid who meows, that actually was kind of terrifying. I have cats, or I have only one cat now. Then we had multiple cats, and they like fucking make weird noises at night too. So it's just like, what? Anyways, it was all bad. It was just all around, just like not great.
So, man, I want to go on about you said something about cats making weird sounds. You know what? This is my podcast. I'll say what I want. I'll do what I want.
Do it. Let's go.
Let me just bring up this fact. So I had a cat growing up. And she's just like a smaller cat, but for most of her life, she was an outdoor cat. But then we moved, and then she just, wasn't able to. And then as she got older, for her safety and stuff like that, we didn't want anything to happen to her. So she kind of just became an indoor cat. No problems. One night, and it was actually just some random night, like I was in high school, and she just made like this awful sound. Like it was like a banshee screeching through the house. And I remember, like, I had no idea what it was, and I had never heard it before, and it was probably the most terrifying natural sound I'd ever heard. And I was just like out of my mind, like, what in the hell is that? Like, yep, this is, goes surreal, bro. Here. Yeah, this is like I'm gonna die. Yep, I'm gonna be. What's gonna happen? Yep, I'm gonna be abducted. I'm gonna be haunted. Something's underneath my bed. It was awful. But apparently, I found out it happened again later on, and I saw it happen. It was because like another cat was coming up on like the back of our family's porch or deck, and she would see it, and she would just make like these moaning sounds. And oh my God, it was just the worst, man. It was terrifying, awful, weird sounds.
So, do you know what it was a female cat?
Yeah, we had a female cat.
So it could have been that she was in heat and it was like a male cat coming up, because we used to have we could talk about cats for a minute too, man. Dude, so when I was younger, my family, well, besides the cat that I have an adopted cat. She's amazing. That's a whole nother story. Anyways, my family, we've only really ever bought one cat, and then these cats are just hussies, and they have so many babies, and then my mom will keep a kitten or 2 or 5 from a litter. And but so when they're in heat, they make the craziest noises. And sometimes it sounds like they're talking, like saying, like we had this one cat, Diva, and when she would go in heat, it sounded like she was saying like hello. She'd be like, hello. Like it was like this crazy noise. It was, but like at 3:00 in the morning, you're like, what the fuck is going on?
And that's what it was.
Great.
Yeah, it's like 2, like 1, 2, 3 in the morning. Well, the funny thing is she was like old as dirt too. So she was like 12 or 13 years old. And if she was in heat, then she had defied life. It's like that whole thing with like Jurassic Park, like life finds a way. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. Do cats go through menopause? Is that like completely not a natural?
God, yeah. So it's funny enough, she was actually older than me, and I think when she died, I think she was like, oh man, dude, she was like 21, 20 years old.
Jeez.
Yeah, she was old as hell, but yeah, she kept kicking. Good for her. Yeah, rest in peace, Frankie. Story.
R.I.P. Let's pour one out for our homie.
Yep. It's been
I know you're just sipping on your tea.
I'll pour a little out somewhere. I'll find a trash
I got
can.
some sparkling water. Those things are delicious.
Awesome. I like sparkling water too.
La Croix?
There you go. I'm about to say, are you La Croix or are you a bubbly gang?
So usually I am whatever's cheapest, honestly. Like right now I'm Lidl's brand. It's pretty tasty. Cherry lime. I'll go with it.
I think I've actually had that before, and it was actually. I think I remember having maybe it was like a Target brand or something like that. I had like an off brand, but
yeah. If I could always be bougie, I'd go with Topo Chico, hands down. But those things can get a little pricey.
Honestly, never heard of it, but I'll look for it next time just to say I've tried it.
Dude, you have to. It's the fountain of youth, man. At least that's what they say.
Yeah, I'll definitely try it. So we've had, let's see here, we've talked about food, cats so far, and we've just kept going about Scary movies. Yeah. So we haven't even hit the third question.
I know.
And
last one.
This is a good one. And so in my mind, I know exactly what my habit is, but I'm curious if you have something kind of like this. What is a weird habit that you have that is considered normal to you that you do, like maybe daily or like, something, but it's kind of like, like other people look at you and like, why the hell do you do that every day? Or like, why the hell do you do that? So what's like a weird habit that you have that's considered normal to you?
I don't know if it's like considered a weird habit. I know many people do it. My friends are like, ew, that's kind of gross. gross, but I do like a shot of apple cider vinegar, like the Bragg's like gnarly has like floating shit in it.
Mm-hmm.
I do a shot of that every morning. And that's like, and I just like do it, like get out of bed, feed the cat, and do my shot of apple cider vinegar. My friends think it's disgusting, but I don't know. I'm used to it.
I've never heard of that
before. I don't know. It's supposed to like be good for your health.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. All right. I think I've heard like vinegar and stuff like that being good for you, but I'll be honest. I've never done that before, but I was going to say like, I do like this weird, like I remember watching like on a TV show or something like that. And it was like when you leave, cause I'm like really forgetful sometimes. So like I'll forget like my wallet, my phone, can't find my keys, or like I'll walk out the door. And so like I'll do like this stupid like 3-point check as I'm walking out the door. Like I'll physically touch where the phone, my key, and like my wallet. I was okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, good. Let's go. And it's a good. Yeah.
Spectacles, testicles, wallet, watch.
Gosh.
Austin Powers.
I've never heard that before, but I'm definitely going to say it tomorrow morning. I guess I'm out of the loop, man.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Out of the loop.
Have you ever seen Austin Powers?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I do kind of...
Spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch. I don't have a very good British accent, but hey.
Yeah, that was like in the... I'm trying to think, it was in the first movie, obviously, but wasn't it like in the... It's like in the very beginning when he's going to like shower down.
And make sure he has all of his stuff and he's ready to go.
Okay, all right, okay. Yeah. So I do remember that. But I had to hear the British accent first in order to know about it.
Right.
Awesome.
But hey, still, that's like you won't forget it tomorrow.
I definitely won't. There's no way. All right, so let's get into it. Let's go ahead and start. Let's talk about Sasshole Jewels. So first, let's talk about you a little bit. And I do want to ask one thing before I just completely let you go and I shut up on my side, but your Instagram name, I have to ask, where does it originate from? And for those who don't know, Dookie Shoes, which is fucking hilarious. And I, like, as soon as I read it, I was like, that's pretty fucking funny. It was like, that's a good like gamer tag or something. But yeah, right? so where did that come from? Like, where'd you get that from?
All right, so it's like a hodgepodge story. Man, this is one of those jets flying over.
No, that's good.
I can't hear anything.
All good.
I wish you guys could hear that.
Oh, I can.
Freedom. That's what freedom.
That's right. Like. What kind of jet is it? Do you know? Or do you guys normally see?
I'm not sure. They're all different types.
I got you.
Yeah. Everyone used to have these awesome jet noise bumper stickers. You don't see this too often anymore. Big people are over the jet noise. But so Dookie Shoes. So I was going camping with some friends for a buddy's birthday. Probably about like 5 or 6 years ago, and we were listening to Tom Segura's stand up on the drive up. And he does a skit about Dookie Shoes, and it's like the first 48. And I just like died laughing. It was so funny. And that was like the first time I ever heard Tom Segura, and he's one of my favorite comedians now. I've seen him live. He's great. If you can ever get a chance to go see live stand up, if that ever happens again, do it. But anyways, so we're going camping, and so it was my friend's birthday, and we're going up to the woods to go have like a full-on paintball slingshot war for his birthday. And we all had to come up with nicknames and everything. And the other thing that I was super excited about, which is oh god, fuck. All right. TMI for everyone. I was so excited. I hadn't been camping since I was a little kid, and it wasn't like real camping. Like, you're on a campground. There's bathrooms and showers and stuff. So like, I was so excited to actually go take like a dookie in the woods, go dig my own hole. And like, I was super excited about that. And at the time I was like super into streetwear, and like, I was up on the Yeezy game a little bit. I didn't have that much money to buy them all, but I knew when they were all dropping. I have a couple pairs, but Anyways, and so they were like, we all had to come up with nicknames for this paintball slingshot war that we were having, and everyone's like, Dookie shoes. I'm like, yeah, that's perfect. Dookie shoes. Because ironically enough, coming up, my first cassette that I ever owned, which was probably not something I should have owned, was Green Day Dookie's album. Yeah, my mom got that for my brother and I. I have no idea why. We were so young. I knew like all the words to every song when I was like 5. It was terrible. But that's kind of where Dookie Shoes came from, you know? Man, it was a hodgepodge of Tom Segura pooping in the woods. Another thing.
It's like a multifaceted hitter right there, man. Damn, yeah. That's pretty cool though.
But I love it. It's become like my alter ego, honestly. Well, actually, not really an alter ego. It's kind of me. But I've straight up had people come up to me at at like concerts and stuff, be like, "Yo, are you Dookie Shoes?" Like, yeah, hey, my name's Taylor. What's up? Like,
that's a good drug dealer name, you know.
Yeah, honestly, but in the Tom Segura skit, I'm pretty sure Dookie Shoes was a drug dealer, so it's full circle, man.
Awesome.
It really is.
Awesome.
So.
I'm gonna have to. I love his stuff too, so I'll have to go back and listen to that skit. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Just Google Tom Segura Dookie Shoes, you will find it, and have a good laugh.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Yes,
we'll do that. I'll definitely do that afterwards. So
yeah,
let's get into Sasshole Jewels though. So. Let's discuss that. Give a little background about who you are, you know, how you got into that a little bit.
Oh man. All right. So I originally, when I first started working, I guess I got my first job when I was 15. I came up working in the snowboard industry. I worked at our local shop for 10 years and kind of did a bunch there. And then when I ended up leaving that, I started bartending. So I was bartending and kind of just had gotten to a point where I did that for a couple of years, and you can only deal with drunk people for so much before you lose your mind. And I've always been a creative person. I went to school for fashion. And I just had gotten to a point where I was like, fuck, man, I need to be doing something to like stimulate myself. Plus at that time, you know, you see, I'm really bad about it now, but I was up on like all the different trends and everything, and I'd see all this like really cool jewelry, and I'm like, man, that is awesome. I want that, but I don't have $500 to buy that. Yeah. So basically, Sasshole Jewels came from me wanting stuff I couldn't afford, so I made my own less expensive version of it.
Sure.
And then I just, you know, working at the bar, I would have friends and customers and co-workers be like, hey, that's pretty cool. Will you make me something? I'm like, yeah, sure. Make you whatever. So I started making, kind of like just and still now I just basically do like custom pieces. Cause sure. I pride myself on being an individual. And so I wouldn't want someone wearing the same thing as me. And so I try to make everything unique. So, I mean, that might have like 4 necklaces that look similar, but they're all going to be different in some sort of way, whether the chain's different, the length's different, the clasp's different, something's going to be different about it. No 2 pieces are going to be the same, just because I'm weird about that kind of stuff. So that's how I make my jewelry. Basically, I make everything for myself and people like it.
That's awesome. But you know, as you say that though, that's like a reoccurring theme that I find with people who do make stuff like that and like make more creative stuff. And then, but that's how, like, just like you said, that's how it always starts. It's like they make something for themselves and then someone really, really likes it. And then that's when it kind of develops. But I like what you do though. That's really cool where each one is unique because you don't want them all the same. And then obviously, you know, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's kind of, you know, where I got my start. And then, so yeah, working at the bar, making jewelry. And the hand stamping thing was kind of more of like a joke at first, because another thing, people are going to hate me after seeing this podcast. So, you know, like there's a lot of people who have like this, well, maybe you don't know because you're a dude. So like these bracelets that say like live, laugh, love, or all these really awesome corny inspirational quotes or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
so it was kind of like a play on that. Like I would make bracelets that say like, you know, not today, Satan. I mean, that one's not like that. That's kind of corny, not today, Satan, or whatever. But like, you know, in loving memory of when I gave a fuck, or you know, just like dumb shit that was like a Sasshole, you know, Sasshole Jewels, just like sassy, dumb stuff, and people loved it. And then also like, then I had actually the first custom bracelet I ever made was for one of my regulars at the bar that I used to work at, Will. He's actually still a homie. I noticed that he followed Sasshole Jewels the other day. I was like, he should have been doing it already. But,
I mean, get on to him, man.
Come on, Will. But anyways, no, he actually was the first person to buy a cuff from me.
Very cool.
Yeah, and he had it for the longest time. I think he ended up losing it or something when he was like away. I can't remember. But anyways, yeah, so it's so I started making cuffs, and then I don't even know how it really happened. I used to, well, I still shop there. I have a couple friends who own this boutique, and it's a really cool idea. Sure. It's a couple different boutiques in one space. It's a collective space, and they were like, look, they had just opened, and they're like, hey, we really want to have like a trunk show, and they so Tommy and Lindsay kind of pushed me to have a trunk show and actually like start really selling my jewelry. Yeah. So did that. It was very successful, and I ended up that was the first like boutique that I started selling my my jewelry in.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then I had it in would sell in a couple of different local boutiques. Unfortunately, they have closed down since. But yeah, I don't know. It kind of just all I didn't mean for anything to come of it. I just wanted jewelry, and then this happened. And
then it kind of evolved into something.
Yeah. And then, you know, working in the industry that I'm in now has brought in all these other different opportunities that I'm sure we will talk about later on in the show.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, so you talk about like as you're bartending and stuff like that, and it's funny because I've really wanted to have someone who bartended on just to discuss that, because I can only imagine how many misconceptions there are about bartender, bartendress, you know, dealing. Is that the correct word? I wanted to ask that. Is that the correct like terminology?
A bartendress?
Yeah. Or is it just bar? Like I'm trying to do like a male feel.
That's like bougie.
I don't know.
Bartender, a connoisseur of good times.
So it's just bartender.
Bartender is fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people call themselves mixologists because they're very fancy. I worked at a sports bar where our drink of choice was Bud Light Draft. So we'll just go with a beer made, honestly, would be a better term.
Fair enough. I was gonna say that's something that I've always wanted to talk with people about, because I can only imagine like one, stories, two, the things you could deal with all the time, reoccurring people who you probably just irritate the living hell out of you, but I just stop myself.
All I'm going to say is the bar that I work at, and I still go up there. I was up there on Monday. I still go up there because I just like love the people. I love that I can go up there, and I don't work there anymore. But I mean, it was like Cheers. It was like a neighborhood bar. Everyone knew everyone. It was the same people all the time, and I worked there it was like my full-time job. So I was there 4 or 5 nights a week, and so I'm like, these people really got to me, man. They like got to my soul.
Awesome. So when was that, give or take? Like when were you know, when did like creating jewelry, when did that like start? Like what year or so?
That started so when I kind of first, I was actually just looking at my my Instagram to like be able to answer this question for you.
Yeah.
So my first post that I ever made was in 2017.
That's still that's not far away at all.
Yeah, no. But I didn't really start selling or like having pop-ups or anything like that until 2018. Okay. So, and I don't know like what months those were.
No. I just like have like a time frame. So okay, so but still that's like within like 2 years and stuff. So I mean that's really cool though. I mean that's able, you kind of people are able to recognize that, build off that, and you're able to kind of just continue making stuff and creating stuff. Very cool.
Yeah, and it's also brought about some other opportunities. You know, I have a couple. Me and a couple girlfriends, we planned like an all-female art show market in the area too. That kind of like took off. And that was another thing that kind of came from us all like having these little side hustles and really wanting to just get creative and get involved with the art community and everything, which is really cool. Which was cool. People recognize you, like, oh, you're the chick from Sasshole Jewels. I'm like, yeah, hey, it's me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's wild. Or even like just going out and seeing people like that had bought pieces from like any boutique that I used to have them in, or like shows, and like being like, hey, I made what you're wearing. They're like, oh yeah, it's fun. It's cool.
Yeah, that's a cool feeling. That's an awesome feeling, because then it's like, just people aren't just buying it just to buy it. They're actually, they're enjoying what they're buying, so they're going to wear it out, and then it's not like they're like, oh shit, I'm going to see Taylor later, I need to make sure I'm wearing this thing later. It's like they're wearing it because that's actually something they really enjoy. That's really cool. I like that.
Yeah.
So like what all forms of jewelry? So I know you said you have different necklaces, and like you'll have them like where they have different links and different actual like chains and stuff like that, and you've already said like the bracelets. So what all types of jewelry do you make?
So honestly, I kind of do a little bit of everything. Sure. I would like to do like more silversmithing, like learn how to do that. That'd be cool. I just don't have the setup for it. You need like a lot of equipment and a lot of space, and I live in a small apartment.
Right.
So I do mainly, and like I said, it's like I'll have people come to me with like random requests. I'll be like, yeah, I can try and make that happen for you. So honestly, a little bit of everything. Right. For a while there, I was doing, I found this like, and that's the thing. So a lot of my supplies and everything, I'll try and source from other small businesses. So I use Etsy as a resource for like my chain and all my findings and everything like that. Just because, I mean, I'm small, so I'm going to support small. I feel like that's like a very big thing. So I had, unfortunately, she's no longer doing it, but I had this chick was in Turkey actually, and she made these really rad like old English nameplates. So that was like a huge thing that I was doing for a while. People love those. You could get whatever you wanted on them, but then I had some off the wall requests, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to be doing those anymore." And I'm like, oh, "Okay, I get it." It was kind of like a more of like a religious thing. She was, she was like, I don't know exactly what her beliefs were, but she was not comfortable doing these nameplates anymore. Hey. So I don't know if that's exactly why she closed down or not. I don't think so. But so nameplates were a really big thing for a while. I love working with antique, like brass findings. Yeah. So I would do a lot of kind of like antiquing and repurposing. And then what else? Cuffs. I've done rings, a lot of like hand stamped, like custom rings. I've done bridesmaid gifts.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. Actually, it was like one of my friends. I'm like, damn, man. I don't know. It was one of my friends. It was cool she had trusted me to make this for her. People. Yes. And then I have people asking me for more recently now these memorial bands. Right. And other cool like collaborations that I've done with like the cuffs and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's like it's hard to pinpoint. Yeah. I kind of do it all. Okay. I did go through. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say yeah. So for me, and I'll be completely honest, I'm not very familiar with jewelry to the most degree. So it's like sometimes I almost kind of get lost with jewelry, to be honest. And I guess maybe that's like a stereotypical guy thing to say. But so like necklaces, bracelets, anklets, rings, probably forgetting some, but it's cool that like earrings. There's just earrings. Yeah, that's the big one. Yeah. So, but it's just cool that there's so many different ways that you're able to kind of like I like the repurposing part too. It's like kind of bringing life to something and maybe giving it kind of like a new look, a new design, and then kind of revitalizing it with your own little twist on it too. That's really cool.
Yeah. It honestly gives you a little bit more room to like, you have to be a little bit more creative because you have to think, you're like, okay, how can I use this? What can I do with this? So I think that's kind of why I like a little bit more of like the repurposing. And then with like necklaces, doing like figuring out different layering systems. I know this sounds so, the different layering systems for your necklaces. There's a science to it.
I believe you. I'll take your word for it. So when you say like there's a science, like when you say like a layering system, is it like a combination of different ones that kind of like blend together with like an outfit? Is it kind of like gotcha?
Kind of what like different like like weights of chain. Like if you want something that's like a little bit daintier, or like a mid-weight chain, or something that's like super chunky, but then having like the lengths like all work out perfectly so that they all sit right and don't get all tangled and mangled. And like, so I kind of, that's like my forte.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool though. So dudes, if you're listening up, you better be paying attention, bro. You better be paying attention, taking notes. Listen to this. She's got it nailed down, so that way you can get some stuff and buy some stuff. Okay,
holidays are coming up.
They are. So and outfits are changing. It's getting cooler out. Very cool. Right. Okay, so and that's like, so for me, that's something new. So no, you did. So I have two things I definitely want to ask about. So one thing is you mentioned different materials and stuff, like you wanted to get like into like silver and stuff like that, but the space is limited. Yeah. Totally get that. What kind of so you did mention copper as well, but what other kind of stuff, like, because obviously that's the thing with fashion and jewelry and stuff like that, there's just so many things you can use, and like you said, the creative parts, that's really cool too. But like, what all do you use though, like other than like those two and stuff?
So so with the whole silversmithing, like I would love to be able to make my own like completely like make a ring from like melted silver and like mold that myself one day. I do use sterling silver. I personally am a big fan of gold. So to make it affordable, I use a lot of gold filled, because it's basically the same thing as gold. It's just and it's not gold plated. It's a little bit of a thicker coating on either like sterling silver or brass. And it just like lasts a bit longer than you can get like gold plated stuff for pretty cheap. And it'll like, I don't know, like, well, you don't, this is all right. So like girls, sometimes we get cheap jewelry, or I don't know if you've ever like seen a chick and her fingers are like green. From like where her rings are. It's because like she probably had like something that was gold plated and it wore away, and whatever the base metal was pretty gnarly. Yeah. So it turns your fingers green. So like with gold fill, it's still like a coating, but it's a little bit of a thicker coating on the base metal, so it doesn't wear away like that, and you don't get that green nasty residue. Yeah.
So, I had a buddy in high school, and I remember like I stayed the night at his house one time, and he would wear this piece of shit chain, and I remember he got out of the shower and he had one of those fucking like green all around his neck. So that makes some sense now. Shout out. Yeah. I'm not gonna say his name. I don't want to embarrass him.
Yeah, don't do that.
John.
I mean, you could do that. John.
Yeah, John.
John. Yeah. That's when you need the soundboard.
Yeah. Damn it, wrong one. Oh man. Damn, man. There we go. Good enough. I gotta like label it or something.
Work on it.
Yeah. We'll come back. We'll go back to that.
Okay.
Very cool. So that's really neat. So kind of like that, kind of typical sterling silver and stuff like that. So like when you're making stuff like that, is there a process of like heating it up? I mean, like I said, I'm pretty green myself. No pun intended, but like, is it like a way of forming it? So I know with like the sterling and stuff like that, you want to do that, but
yeah, there definitely is. So for me, I was saying before, so I actually I source all of my chain and findings. I'm not actually making them myself, like making the chain myself.
Yeah, sure.
So like, I guess a jewelry designer would probably be like the best description, because I'm taking all these different pieces and piecing them together. So it's like basically I'm building them from just like when you would build a house from bricks.
Right. Yeah.
And cement.
Yeah, I feel like a jackass now.
No,
so how do you make those bricks though? You build houses. So how the hell do you make wood? And like how do you make those fucking 2x4s? Fair enough. Yeah. I'm getting way too ahead of myself. But okay, cool.
No, you're totally fine. Like honestly, and like I have like aspirations and goals to get to that point where I'm making all that stuff on my own, but just because of my space and financially it's expensive, man, to do all that. And so like right now I'm not at that point, but that is definitely somewhere I would like to get to eventually.
Gotcha.
Baby steps.
That's right. That's right. But to say, and still, it's like you said already, you've only been selling for 2 years. So I mean, the fact that you kind of like, that's kind of like the long. That's not. I wouldn't say long term, because I don't think it's very difficult for you to get there. Like I think you could, like things could like flip a coin end of this year, and then next year you're like, bam, I'm here, I've got it.
Exactly.
I got this shit set up. So that's really
cool. Do another podcast in a year, and I'll
absolutely.
Be like, I made this for you from melted gold.
No, don't do gold. Get something like really cheap, something like really cheap.
Why? No.
Like for me.
At that point, it'll be like, no. At that point, I'll have it like that. So gold chain will be nothing.
That's okay.
Aspirations.
Good point.
So I'm telling myself.
You're right. I was trying to like say like, don't like waste a lot of resources on me. That's what I guess I was trying to get at. But fair enough. Yeah. We'll stick with the goal.
Yeah.
Or I'll hook my boy John up and get him some real glizzy on him.
Yes, exactly. Bling. Do people still say that?
No, probably not. Like I think. Probably not. No, I would say like a rapper that is more relevant now probably needs to say it now, and maybe come back. But I don't think it would though.
I'm showing my age. Damn.
Yeah, I know, right? So we're probably the same age. It sounds like.
Maybe. I don't know.
We won't ask on the air though.
I mean, it's fine. I don't care.
It's okay. But
okay. I know you don't want anyone to know how old you are.
Well, I mean. Yeah. So yeah. So
relates to chick.
I'm coming up. I'm coming up. So it's like 28 now. 28. Yeah.
You're 28.
I'm
oh
28.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm 28.
I'm 31.
Yeah. So I'll be 29 in like a couple days. So I'm clinging on to 28 as long as possible, and I've been saying I've been 27.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm being a little dramatic, but
30s are dope, honestly.
Yeah.
I've been having a great time in my 30s. Let me tell you.
That's peak. That's like when it's not peak season, but that's like when the party gets started.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Cool.
I'll 100% agree with that statement.
So so one thing that you mentioned was that you were sourcing jewelry from Turkey, which that's pretty cool. Like I mean, I guess like I know of Etsy, like I know what it is. Like like you said, like other crafting and like any other people making stuff or sourcing stuff. But I didn't realize that you can actually utilize outside the country, which there's no reason you shouldn't be able to, but it's just like, I guess it didn't click to me. Right. That's really cool. So you've got stuff from Turkey. Like where else would you source stuff from?
So honestly, that was the only person that was outside of the United States. And that was mainly because I had tried a couple different people who did nameplates, and hers were just like the best quality.
Yeah.
And the best like price too.
Right.
Like it just made sense. So that's why I went with her.
Cool.
But everything else was like locally made. A lot of people out in California, Colorado, down in Florida. But yeah, that was the other thing too. I also try and support, USA made.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's cool. So when you're making jewelry, obviously like the creative process and building it up and kind of getting an idea of what you're trying to make and reutilizing that stuff, there's always going to be a bumps in the road. So like, what is a frustrating part of that? Like other than the creative part, but like when you're assembling, like, is there like something that just drives you like, oh, I'm dreading having to blank or like, what's an aggravating part to deal with?
For the most part, it's it's not bad. When you're working with really, really small jump rings,
sure,
that can be really, oh man. And I have sausage fingers. And so sometimes it's just really hard to work with these really, really small jump rings, and they'll go flying. And I'm like, all right, fucking sweet. There goes 10 cents flying through the air.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's how I start thinking about it. I'm like, God damn it. Like just lost another one. Like,
yeah.
But so I think that's like the most frustrating. Like anytime like I'm doing something and I'm like, and I make a mistake and mess up, and I'm like, all right, that's great. There's like a blank that I can't use now because I fucked up stamping a letter. Cause like when I do hand stamping, it's like all by hand. And like, I mean, I have a guide that I kind of draw on each blank with Sharpie while I'm doing it. So I have like a straight line to kind of follow.
Right.
But at the same time, you know, I'm also doing this by hand. So
yeah,
it's not going to be absolutely perfect. But when I really fuck up and I'm like, oh, that's completely like unacceptable.
Yeah.
Like, God, you know, like that's where I get frustrated, like with myself, just with myself.
Yeah.
You know?
And
like, God, man,
I'm right there with you.
Do better.
Yeah. I'm right there with you on that one. So like, I think it's funny too, because I feel like if you actually make like an outline or like a purpose of like, you know, like you said, a line or something like that, I feel like I do worse when there is a line. Cause then I over exaggerate. I'm like, okay, I gotta get right on the dead center of this line. Then I always just end up getting, if I had just done it freehand sometimes, it's like, it's insane, but like that must be the pressure on too. And then, but at least like you said already, it's, you're making it custom made and stuff like that. And if you're making two of the same that's doing that, then, you know, that's, again, there's that little twist. So when you say the jump rings, what's a jump ring exactly? Like,
so if you were to look at a necklace or a bracelet, and you have the chain, and then you have your clasp, which is the ends that connect.
Gotcha.
So the jump rings are the little rings that connect your chain to the end of your clasp.
Okay, all right, easy enough. Yeah, I can see that being aggravating.
God, dudes, and sometimes like when people want like dainty pieces of jewelry, I'm like, oh yeah, you want a dainty necklace? Cool. Damn it.
Oh yeah, sure.
Want something a little bit chunkier? Come on.
Yeah, well, I'll get that for you, asshole.
Yeah.
Cool.
No. But yeah, other than that, like honestly, it's really not like I really do enjoy and I think it's because every piece I make is like I'm not making the same thing over and over again. So it doesn't ever get aggravating. I think that if I was making the same shit every single day, oh my God, no, I wouldn't be doing this. Yeah,
get old really fast.
Oh, so fast. But yeah, even with like doing like the bracelets and stuff, a lot of times they're different, and any like the collaborations I've done. I mean, yeah, some like I'll have like an order of 20 of the same cuff or something, but it's usually those pieces are like the way that I'm doing the stamping is different. So I'm having to pay attention. I'm having to be like, oh, okay, make sure you're stamping this word on the right end of the cuff, because when you bend it, if it's not in the right spot, you're gonna have fucking full send backwards, and that's gonna look really stupid. Yeah. So I have to like that kind of stuff. Like it just, I don't know. It keeps me like on my toes. So like as long as I'm not getting bored while I'm doing it, like I'm completely 100% content like doing whatever. It's just sometimes the little jump rings. Yeah. And when I mess up,
those little jump rings. Yeah.
Other than that, I fucking love making jewelry.
Oh, those two little aggravating parts. Yeah. That's cool. So, and you actually beat me to it. So I was actually going to ask you later on, but so you do collaborate and kind of like build some stuff out. So like what's like one of your favorite collaborations that you've done?
Oh man.
What is it? Or if you can discuss it.
What is it? Yeah. So honestly, I didn't have anyone asking me for bulk orders until I started kind of like working for tactical distributors and started networking and linking up with some of these smaller like veteran owned or active duty owned companies. Mm-hmm. So I think probably the two collaborations that I've done and I'm continuing to work on a little bit, at least I know one for sure, the other one maybe, I'm not sure, have been with the Gorilla Group. They did this, Ryan came up with like a really cool concept of, he dropped these cuffs, and it was kind of like they're all numbered, and people who got them, they get like a cool like 10% off. I don't actually know what the discount is, but they got like some cool discount on, you know, Gorilla Group gear and everything, and they got a cool cuff and it's numbered and everything. So that was pretty cool. It was actually funny that the cuff that he saw that he liked was something that I just like randomly threw together for my friend Kaylee. Yeah. And he was like, yo, can you make those? And like, yeah, man, for sure. I was like, oh, look, it's the cuff that inspired the Gorilla Group.
Very cool.
But anyways, so that was super cool. And just like the fact that it was just like the concept of it being like a serialized bracelet and everything was pretty freaking cool. And then I did some, it's actually been a pain in the ass with shipping, which I don't know if anyone else has been, well, actually I know a lot of companies have been dealing with like terrible shipping with UPS, USPS, FedEx, all of them. I'm dealing with it at work as well. But did some memorial cuffs with Ian from Rody's Plaid, and all the money that was raised from the cuffs is going or was donated to the Rhodesian Light Infantry Association.
Okay, very cool.
So that was pretty cool. Yeah, I was like, he just gave me like a list of names for fallen soldiers, and just kind of stamped them out, and everyone will get kind of like a random name on their cuff, and it's kind of it's a cool concept. Yeah.
Yeah,
and so hopefully we'll be here soon. We'll be doing the same kind of concept for another organization. Mm-hmm. Not sure yet, but that's probably going to be happening here soon in the next couple months. Hopefully something else with Gorilla Group.
Yeah. Maybe something else.
What else?
Maybe something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So, yeah.
So I think it's funny that you mentioned 2 different collaborations, and I could be wrong, I'm just making sure, but it sounds like they were both with men, which I think is really, I think that's a good thing. Like that's a really cool thing. So what is something that, so you did mention the bands, memorial bands as well. Obviously, memorial bands aren't necessarily a jewelry. That's a more of a sign of remembrance, but like the serialized bands, that's really cool, which is, it's funny because I really like them. I don't know why. It's like, I've seen them before. I know exactly what band you're talking about. I tried to get one and I failed, but I tried. But I always get worried about like trying to buy one, feeling maybe it comes too close to the remembrance band. So that's like something I've always like tiptoed, because I just don't ever want to get to them. But I loved those bands because I think they were, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, because they were kind of like a thinner band too. And I do remember them being serialized, which I thought was just, like you said, such a cool aspect of it too.
Yeah, it makes it more like personal. You're like, I'm absolutely the one that has this band out of this many.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even care about the order. I would just like having like whatever set number. I was like, this is I totally agree. So with bands, obviously, bands make her dance is something I put there in there, and I wanted to say at least once, but
bands that make her dance. I do have to go back real quick. And I feel like such a dick for not mentioning it first. I have a good buddy, and he has supported me since we've been friends, has supported me from like day one. And he's also a small business owner. He makes knives.
Okay,
George
very cool.
at Mackay Metal Works. He has bought a ton of cups for me that he has given to people with knives that he has made for them. So that was another collab that's always been really cool. He did during Corona, he did anti-Corona Club cuffs, which was kind of fun. And then they said like locals only on the inside, and he did a bunch of really cool little stabbies that were Cerakoted like tiger stripe, because it's the year of the tiger stripe. So that was another really fun collab, and I've completely blanked on it. And so anyways, okay, continue on. I gotta give my homie a shout out.
Well, and there you go. Like, and that's another men's like business. So I always find that interesting because I feel that men normally lack in that field, or they don't know what to wear and they don't know what's trendy or stuff like that. So with the bands, obviously that's something that men are wearing pretty frequently, whether it's remembrance or not. But what's something else that you've made for men, or what's something that's popular for men?
Honestly, so it's been a lot of the memorial bracelets, and I have different buddies who have the different friends, or who have had other KIA bracelets that they've had and they've broken or they've lost or whatever, and they're like, I need a replacement, but I would love for you to make it. And so that's always really cool. It's actually really nerve-wracking too, because I'm like, oh man, I really don't want to mess this up, because it's like something that's like so, it like means so much, it's so sentimental, and it's like, I'm the one that's being entrusted to make this, like what? So the cuffs have been very popular, and then I started messing with like some bullets, like shell casings. I've had mainly guys interested in those as well, just because like they're kind of like on more of like a ball chain, not like, I don't know, I guess they're more like manly. I don't know. So
I think I remember seeing a picture, and then you were actually wearing one with the bullet.
I wear I usually always have my jewelry on, which is another really satisfying thing in the morning. I like put my jewelry on, and I'm like, sometimes I'll be sitting at my desk at work and be like, damn, I made everything I'm wearing today.
Yeah, so this morning. Very cool.
Look at you go.
That's right. Hell yeah. That's awesome. So and that was gonna be my next question was for women. So like what is the trending artwear? Like what do women normally order from you? Because obviously women are naturally more trendy than men. So they're gonna be ordering definitely much more different stuff. But like what normally does a woman wear or order or request?
So normally, like I was talking about earlier, a lot of times it'll be different layers of necklaces. Right. I'll be like, hey, I like this chain, and I really want to be able to layer it with something else. So like, what do you think? And I'll be like, well, do you want like a little charm or anything? And kind of ask them. I always ask for reference pictures to be like, kind of like, what are you thinking? Like, what's your style? Or if it's like a friend that I know, like they kind of trust me, and I'll be like, okay, let me just whip something up for you. And usually it works out, which is cool. So a lot of like the layering of necklaces, women's trends change so much though. So it's kind of like I can do anything, honestly. Like I literally could have people ask me for anything. A lot of people still really like getting like a little bar necklace with a name stamped on it. That's not really my jam, but I'll do that for someone. Or you'll have chicks be like, I just really want a chunky chain that's like really cool. It just really,
it's all over the place.
It just really depends. Yeah. Cause everyone's so different. And that's what's kind of cool is like, you see a lot of people wearing the same stuff, but I'm fortunate enough to deal with customers who are all very different. So I get a lot of different requests, which also plays into me being stoked on making jewelry because I'm not ever really doing the same thing.
Yeah, but I was gonna say that's the cool part. So like that way you're not getting burned out doing it over, like doing the same thing over and over again too.
Yeah,
very exactly.
Cool. Yeah.
Where's the coolest place you've had an order come in from? Or maybe not coolest, but it can be like like something that caught your eye. You're like, I would never have thought I would be selling something here.
Yeah.
Maybe something out of the country.
There was this guy, and I honestly, and I feel bad I don't remember what his name is, but he was like ended up being like the drummer for some band, and I'm like, I don't even know how this dude found my Instagram to even ask for some custom ring. He ended up getting these stacking rings that I do that say fuck off. I don't know like how he found my page or anything, but it was pretty cool. And like when I looked up went to his page or whatever, it was like, everyone messages. You're like, okay, let's see what this customer is about. Kind of get a feel about him.
Sure.
And he ended up being, it's going to drive me nuts. I'm going to have to figure out what it is.
We'll
but that was really cool.
We'll remember it. Yeah, we'll come back to it.
I'll figure it out. But yeah, so that was like super rad. I was like, oh man, this guy's on, and he was on tour. So he was like, so I'll get him when I get home. I'm like, okay, cool. So that was really cool. And then actually, it just happened. And I'm going to sound like such a fangirl right now.
No, please, you should.
So I don't know who actually runs the company or anything, but have you heard of Anti-Terror Club?
Yes,
dude, their graphics for their shirts are epic. Oh my gosh, I absolutely want every single shirt that they have on their site. I want everything. But she, whoever hit me up for some cuffs yesterday, actually. Oh my gosh. I was like, what? And honestly, at first I was like, my FBI agent has been working overtime because me and my coworker were literally talking about their hoodies at work yesterday afternoon. And then it was like that night. I was like, whoa, weird. But so that's actually like, I'm super excited about that. That I was like, what?
That's cool. I'll have to, so I know of them, but I'll be honest, I'm not as familiar with them, but I definitely know them. I know the name. I always thought the name was really cool. Like, I don't know. It's just like even though it's just kind of like a usual name you could say, but I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. The shirt, they did some really epic, like they look like playing cards with like
some like the terrorists, like some of the
some of the terrorists on them, like I think it was like Saddam Hussein and like Osama bin Laden or something, and they actually I think that's why their Instagram got like shut down because of those shirts, or there was some shirt, I don't know, it's very controversial.
Well, it's funny because I mean there was always been like playing cards and stuff like that like in the military and stuff like that whenever they're doing big missions and stuff, when they were like when everything started and kicked off, there was like the ace of, every different playing card, and the high, obviously the high cards were all like high value targets and stuff like that they were going after, like some bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, stuff like that. So it's kind of funny that they would get in trouble for that when it's pretty renowned. That's what they, whatever.
Well,
typical
how
Instagram shit
these days.
Yeah, typical.
Everyone's
so soft, sensitive.
Yes. Oh, so sensitive.
but I will say, I do want to ask one thing. So obviously, like I don't know. This is kind of a weird question. Do women normally buy any jewelry from men, or is it generally men are buying jewelry for their customers or themselves, or vice versa? Like do you get a lot of customers that buy for their significant other or a friend and stuff like that?
So I honestly mainly have female guys buying for their girlfriends, or ladies, their old lady, whatever, whoever she is.
Don't get anyone in trouble or anything.
Right. Ladies buying for themselves or friends, and then guys buying for themselves. Not really girls buying for their dudes. Mm-mm. Yeah. I think it's kind of like I think it's kind of weird. Not weird, but I
could see that.
I don't think I've honestly ever bought like a significant other jewelry before, like a watch.
I haven't either, but I was just other than like a watch, that's true. But I was like thinking to myself, like as I asked that, I was like, well, I mean, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I don't know, do women do that? Like, do women buy like certain bands? Like, oh, that would look really. I think that's more of like a bullshit stereotype, like on a TV show or something like that, unless you got a sugar mama,
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's like a whole.
Yeah, that's a different. Yeah. We won't even get into that.
That's a whole another discussion.
That's good stuff.
So I figured out that he was the drummer for Under Oath.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why I was like, I knew it was something big. I had to figure it out for a second.
That is not very Christian of him. Aren't they? Isn't Under Oath the Christian band, or like Christian influence maybe?
Are they?
Probably. I thought they were.
I don't know.
I thought they were.
I don't know.
Yeah. I used to listen to them growing up and stuff too. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I know it was like something like it was like a band that I didn't really listen to.
Yeah.
But I knew like you know of it. I'm like, okay, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm sure a lot of my friends from high school all know them at least. But yeah, are they still touring? Oh my god. I guess. Jeez.
Yeah.
Dude, they're killing it, man. That's like, cause like I remember them like in like 2006 to 2010. No, actually before then, because I remember one of my buddies who was older than me by a couple of years. He would like take me to school, and he would he would drop me off at the middle school, and he was in high school, and then like growing up. So I remember listening to them like in middle school, high school. Man, that's insane. That's mind blowing. That's really cool though. Like I don't listen to him anymore either, but that is really cool though.
Yeah, it was pretty rad. I was like, all right, especially because I was like, the whole fact. I'm like, wait, how, why?
Yeah,
like where did you come from?
Yeah,
because it blows my mind. I have no idea.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I'll be honest, I don't really know, but I don't know if they're like really firearm dudes or if they're anywhere connected with like that industry or saw something like that. So it's really cool they just somehow were able to find your page and get some stuff ordered, or maybe they found it from someone else and they saw it and they know.
Yeah, I have no idea. I wanted to ask him, and then I never did, because I was like, I didn't want to be like, how did you find me? Oh my god.
That's great. It's like I'm the same way. I know exactly what you're saying. Like there was someone recently who followed me, and like I just, for some reason, like I just recognized, and I was like, how the hell did you find me? Like why did you follow me? Like, you've been following me for some time. Like, why the hell have you been following me? I don't make anything that good. That's really cool though. Very cool. So obviously you got all kinds of stuff coming up, but what's something? Is there anyone that you would want to collaborate with?
Yes.
Cool.
There are a couple
call them
people.
Out. Let's hear them.
That I would like to work with. Amphibious Misfits.
Yes.
I would love to do a collab with them, guys. I don't know if they listen to your podcast.
I've chatted with them, sort of.
Me too. I'm like, come on, dudes. Corey, Sepdef, what's up?
Oh, yeah. Shut them out.
Let's do something.
Yeah.
Who owns? I mean, everyone wants to do something with Warm Fuzzy. Why not?
Gosh, man.
But I just don't know if I'd be able to make enough because he's like, probably would need to make like 100 cuffs. That's like a lot. It's like lofty goals. Hey man, I would do a collab with you.
Maybe we're going to. Maybe we're going to.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, I'd be 100% down.
I'd be down too.
100% down.
I can find like a rooster stamp, put it on something. Maybe we'll just find like rooster claws and make them into necklaces or something. Like a talon necklace.
That'd be pretty gnarly. Whoop.
That would be wild.
All right. Chill out. Don't be telling everybody what we're planning on doing. Man, slow down.
All
Dropping too much heat.
I know.
Oh man, that's pretty cool. See, and that's the thing. I'm kind of like those little cars. Like you wind backwards and then you pull, like hold them and you wind them back more. All right, so you pull those cars back as far as they can go, and then just ramp off. That's me. So like as soon as my mind gets going, man,
you're just like,
yep, pretty much. I'm like, oh man, we could do this, or we could do something like this, and then like you'd be midway through, I'm like, but you know what? It'd be really cool if we do it like this way. So the person who helped me with I'm gonna say helped me with the person who helped design my new tee coming out, pretty much that to a T. But damn it, pun intended. But she did an awesome job, so I'll have to show that to you, and hell, maybe you can collaborate with her. But that's really cool. I like that. So let's see, is there anything on your sides other than collaborations? Is there anything that you're planning on making soon, or doing like a small batch, or something that you want to design and get set up and ready to roll soon?
So I kind of like brought it up a little bit in the beginning. About this art show market that me and a couple girlfriends who are local do.
Sure.
We were supposed to have the third, it's called Aunt Flo's Art Show. It's great. All ladies. Love it. We were supposed to have an art show in the spring and it got canceled because of Corona. Yeah. It's like everything else. And then we normally would do one show a year, and we had just like decided, all right, 2020, this is the year we're going to have two shows, because it had gotten so big and we had so many like local vendors and makers that wanted to be a part of the show. And we were like, we have to split it up into two shows because the space that we use is so awesome that we didn't want to like move to a bigger space. We just decided we'll use the same space and make the shows have two shows instead of one, so everyone can be included. But they both ended up getting canceled because of Corona. So, that was originally over the summer. We ended up canceling the fall show. But I think actually maybe yesterday or the day before, the owner of the event space that we use approached us that they're ready for events again. So hopefully, maybe possibly, we'll be having an art show here. And maybe, I don't know, she said holiday, so probably like December, November. That'd be really cool. So I would probably, with like art shows like that, so I will kind of come up with a concept and make just like a bunch of pieces just specifically for that show. So I've been doing a lot of stuff with like the shell casing, so I'll probably do kind of roll with that for a little bit. Yeah. And make pieces just because I know that every year we have more and more guys coming to the art show too, so I'm sure that they would dig that. And then I just take custom like orders for custom cuffs and stuff. It's usually what I'm up to now.
Very cool. Well, so it sounds like you really do kind of have like a huge game plan ahead of you too, but obviously, and you did want to say one thing, and I meant to mention it earlier with COVID, but that is really cool. It seems like everything's kind of starting to open back up, kind of start getting moving again, and that way you can kind of really start kind of get back on things, if or getting back into a loop, I guess, and doing the art show. So obviously, when the art show, we're not talking about like fucking paintings and just paintings and Mona Lisa stuff. I don't know why that was a weird way of putting it, but so like when you say like arts and stuff like that, obviously it can be craft, artisan, painting, jewelry and stuff. So that's really cool.
We have, let's see, what do we have? We have people who sell vintage clothing. We have,
cool.
This chick, Stephanie, who makes the most amazing smelling candles ever. They're so amazing.
I'm a huge candle fan.
Dude, her candles, the Pretty Palm, I don't know if she has a website or not set up yet, but they're amazing. And they last a really long time too.
Sweet.
We have candle makers. We've had like a hair show. So we had like a local salon come in and they did like some crazy hairs. I know, it's wild. Face painting for the little kids. My friend has a mobile boutique.
Very cool.
I mentioned earlier Tommy. So she like rolled up with her van and had clothing from their boutique up there.
Oh, that's pretty neat. I like that.
So it's super cool. And like we have a DJ, and then the event space is connected to a local restaurant, and so people can go eat brunch and then get drinks and come walk around. And so it's really just a cool vibe.
Yeah.
It happens to be in the Vibe District is what the area. It's super hip.
Absolutely. Hey, that's the best place to get them. Let's be honest here.
Yo,
get them a little tipsy, a little couple drinks, a couple mimosas, something like that, and then that's when you get them. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. See, we have something kind of similar to that, but it's more like it's like a farmer's market, and it comes like once a month. But honestly, I don't think they've been doing it because of Corona and COVID or whatever you want to call it. But that was going to be one question, like sourcing materials and stuff like that. Has that become kind of difficult with the virus and everything going on, and like just sourcing parts, sourcing materials and stuff? Or has it been pretty about the same, give or take?
Yeah, it's been like about the same. Yeah. I also have like a bunch of I'll buy in bulk too. So I have a bunch of supplies already. Yeah. So I haven't really had to re-up much. And what I have had to get, I mean, it's been pretty simple to get. That's why I think like working with smaller makers kind of benefits me in that situation. Yeah. Cause they're all just trying to make a buck too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
very cool. Well, I think we'll start kind of wrapping this one up, but that's really awesome. So definitely I like the collaboration stuff. I think that's always cool because then you can kind of mix mash ideas. And so even if it's maybe not something that you're thinking of, but maybe just bouncing ideas off, that really just makes stuff just pop too sometimes. And and the art show stuff is really cool. And hopefully you'll be posting stuff about posting pictures of stuff like that from it as well.
Yeah,
I love stuff
like that. On all that. On my on the Sasshole, kind of took like a little bit of a hiatus during all this, but she back.
She back now.
See? So I'll be posting a lot more and trying to keep people in the loop on things that are going on.
Absolutely.
And whatnot. So
cool. And then we'll get that handle and everything as we wrap up too. So you'll know how to get some of that stuff, get some of the loot, grab the sauce and stuff. Very cool. Grab the sauce. That was I'm
saucing.
Yeah, that was that was a saying that me and a buddy said in college, and we made it. Oh my gosh, this is just out of nowhere, but it just popped in my mind as soon as you said it earlier, and I thought about it and I forgot, and then I said it again. But so quick little story, and you'll probably enjoy it because you have a good sense of humor. But so more or less, we have a buddy who would like cling on to sayings and stuff like that, and me and my other buddy agreed that if we created a fake saying, that he would jump on it pretty instantly and like try to jump on that. And so the saying was, "Yeah, man, we'll be out there. We'll go grab that sauce." You know what I'm saying? And like it didn't really mean anything in general, but we would say it all the time. And sure enough, like after a week, he was like, "Yeah, man, you guys grabbing that sauce later?" And I think I cried laughing. But yeah, so shit. And I just remember looking at him. I was like, dude, I was like, oh my god. I was like, oh, too fucking good. I was like,
that's so
funny. I think we made bets on like how fast it would take, but Story for another time, I suppose. But good stuff. So we'll wrap up Sasshole Jewels, and that for all my dudes, you better be listening, pay attention, man. That was I learned a lot. I try not to be too ignorant, but that's how you learn. That's how you learn. You gotta learn up, gotta read up. So obviously with Sasshole,
knowledge is power.
Yes, that's right. Hell yeah. So I know you have a day job. I know you have Tactile Distributions, and then you have Sasshole. So obviously, man, I love the name Sasshole too. It's just good. I like that whole vibe and everything like that, and just personifies like attitude and personality. So
I honestly have almost changed it so many different times, but every time I go, I'm like, all right, I'm going to change it. Let's come on, Taylor. Let's make it a little bit more mature. Someone's like, yo, I really dig the name of your company, and I'm like, fuck, all right, I'm not changing it. We're keeping it.
Yeah, absolutely. I will be the first to say that unless you like move to like the most bougie place, like somewhere straight as as can be, and you're dealing with like top clientele, okay, maybe, but I think the scene that you have and that you like doing, I don't ever change it. It's just I love it. I like it. Like I said, it has personality to it. It has personality to it. I appreciate that. So when you're not doing this stuff, you're not creating, grabbing that sauce and stuff. What what do you do? Like what's something as like a pastime or a hobby? Maybe the jewelry was kind of like had that place beforehand with bartending, but is there something now that you like to do to kind of just get away and just get that out?
So I during the winter at least, snowboarding, that's awesome. Huge. I try to go as much as I can. I mean, I'm in Virginia, so and we've had some shitty winters the past couple of years, so it's only been few and far between. But snowboarding is still huge for me. It's always like an escape. It's like my thing. Now that I'm like older, I'll just like get in my car and drive to the mountain by myself and just go ride for the day, just be away from people and just like tune out, listen to music. That's like one of the best ways for me to clear my head, and just like I fucking love it. That's awesome. Like, there's no greater feeling, man.
Sometimes there's you're right. I think you're right though. It's just kind of like an escape. Like I think sometimes people would find it as an odd thing to like just randomly do by yourself, but I like doing that too. It's like sometimes just a random trip, even if it's just like an hour or something like that, or like the other days, like I could have gotten home from my parents' house like in 45 minutes, but instead I took like the longest back road home, just no signal, no nothing, just straight back road, like middle of the night. I don't know, it was something to kind of just, I don't know, some kind of different about it, kind of like a freedom to it. So, but I like what you're doing though. I was supposed to do that already, but I kind of, scheduling of stuff takes out, like taking a beach trip or something.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I live for that kind of stuff. And then, since I started working, so without like being too much longer, so I started working at Tactical Distributors 2 years, a little bit over 2 years ago.
Okay, very cool.
And coming up, it's not like my family was like anti-gun or anything like that. I just never really, it wasn't a big thing. Like we didn't have guns. My stepdad would go hunting every now and then. Yeah. But it wasn't, so I've always just been kind of like afraid of guns. Yeah. Which I think is even when you are an avid shooter or something, you should still have some sort of like fear, a little bit, maybe not fear.
Respect.
Respect is a good word. Yeah, it's a better word. But so within like the first 2 weeks of me starting at Tactical Distributors, we had a team bonding trip, and we went to one of the local ranges and had like a range day. And that was kind of like my first real time, besides when I was in the woods, Dookie shoes. I shot a gun one single time in the woods on that trip. But I was like, I'm like, nope, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
We were drinking. I felt funny. I didn't want to, I shouldn't be talking about drinking, shooting guns and drinking. You're not supposed to do that. It's very irresponsible. Anyways. But yeah, so we had our range day, and I freaking was like, this is fucking awesome. Yeah. And so I like would make my buddies that I worked with like go to the range, like take me to the range so I could like try all their different guns. And so we're fortunate enough to have a membership to one of the local ranges, so I can kind of go up there, and was able to try out a bunch of different guns, as well as rent different things from the range. And so that's kind of become a big hobby for me. I actually, in February, bought myself a Glock 19 for my birthday.
Awesome.
And then one of the most productive things I did during quarantine was apply for my concealed carry.
There you go.
So that's kind of a new hobby for me. But it's really, it's, I don't know, it's a cool hobby just because it's learning a new skill. And
absolutely.
With that, I'm going to be taking a first aid course here, shortly, be able to save a life.
There you go.
In case anything goes down, hopefully. So,
yeah, it's that's really cool. So it's funny that you bring up the part about the first aid, and it's like someone else brought that up not too long ago, and they mentioned like, yeah, it's really cool being able to like, to shoot and stuff like that. But how often are you going to be in a gunfight? You're more likely to find someone who's, wounded or hurt with, it doesn't have to be like any kind of a big issue, or it can be anything, like it could be a car accident for all you know. But it's a good skill to have, is being able to do that, like with a tourniquet or a first aid class. That's really cool. But the shooting part, very awesome. I think everyone should at least, get a full hands-on experience, because I think a lot of that's how it happens, is they have maybe a bad first experience. And like you said, I kind of had a similar issue growing up, I would say a respect to it. Like I think I mentioned it last time. I was like, I knew they were there, but we never really messed with them. It was like, and I didn't really get to go shooting until I kind of took that plunge myself. That's cool.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome. I was going to say something and I can't forget. I'm also in a position where I have made friends, and just through work and stuff, made friends with people who are firearms instructors.
Yep.
Or have past military experience. So it's like, if I have all these like people, that I can like learn from, then I'm going to take advantage of that 100%.
Absolutely.
I found out in the past like year and a half, like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of times we get stagnant and forget to keep learning, and it's okay to like pick up new hobbies and stuff and be new at something, even though we're older, and it's like weird. No one likes to be bad at something or new, but I think I've gotten to a point in my life where I'm like, I actually really enjoy being new at something and asking questions and trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
I guess that's my hobby too. Finding new hobbies.
Yeah. I'm in that same boat where I feel like I somehow sometimes I generally spread myself out way too wide. Like I just want to get into everything that sounds cool to me. So I'm right there with you on that one. You should definitely do the firearm instructors or take like a couple of shooting courses and stuff like that. And then maybe you should start competing. Start doing like some like the self. I'm trying to think of what the name of the actual competitions are. Like it's all like there's so many different things you can do too as well. Like it can be like defensive shooting and stuff like that, and those are a lot of fun too. And the Glock 19 is like. It's like, that's why I tell everyone time someone asks me like, well, what's the first handgun I should get? Glock 19.
Right.
It's just the most, you can do anything with it, conceal, or if you want to just take it to the range and enjoy shooting, you can do that too. It's an awesome do-all gun.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool. Actually, there was, it would be kind of cool to do competitive shooting. I'm very far from it. I did go to, there's this, I don't even know what they are. I guess it's like they have I don't have Facebook. I only have Instagram, so I'm not really sure what it is. But I guess it's called like the Pew Crew. My buddy Manny, he like is in charge of it or whatever. Yeah. They do like he would do like different range meetups and everything. So I went to one of those. It was intimidating as hell because I was the only chick there, and all these guys are like have like all their gear and stuff, and I'm like, hey Manny, let me borrow a holster and a gun because I don't have either yet. But I want to I wanted to learn and be like, it was like super cool. So they did a bunch of different drills and like moving and shooting. So that was really cool. That is something that I would definitely like to do more of. I'm just not good at it. That great at it right now.
I think you'd be surprised. So I think you would definitely be surprised. Like if you take just like taking a course and getting some familiarity, and like you said, all those resources that you have. I honestly think women normally pick up new skills faster than men do, just because,
so I've heard.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's my way of thinking about it. Cause normally you guys aren't gonna be like, well, I've never done this before, but I'm gonna tell you what I think is probably the better way of doing it.
That is true. We do follow directions better.
Yeah, so I think you should definitely do it though.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something I would like to do once we're able to do stuff like that. Yeah. And ammo is not so freaking expensive.
Oh my God.
It's insane.
Oh man, I know. It's story for another time.
Yes,
but that is awesome. So snowboarding, which I'm actually a skiing nerd. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Oh,
I'm one of those guys. I'm a skier.
You're a sky.
but yeah, that's awesome. Snowboarding, shooting sports, and that's a good way to kind of escape even the things that you do are passionate about. It's sometimes good to get away from those too, like you said, the new skills. Yeah. But that is so awesome. So let's wrap it up here. Thank you so much for coming on. But of course, before we do go, how can we reach you? How can they find you? How do they buy your shit? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
All right. So the best way to buy my shit and get a hold of me for jewelry is going to be Sasshole _Jewels, or I guess the @ Sasshole _Jewels on Instagram. Message me there. I use Venmo. I don't have a website. You know, we're all like, it's like black market under the table shit. Yeah.
Don't say that.
I'm just kidding. Not black market under the table shit. No, so you can hit me up. Yeah, hit me up on Instagram at Sasshole _Jewels, or if you want to be my friend and follow along on my wildness, Dookie.shoes with 2 U's and a Z.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Instagram. Dookie at night. Man, I meant to say that way earlier. Like I was trying to think of like a way to start like night with Dookie, or like date night with Dookie or something like that. Like I was like, oh man, I'll have to remember that. And then of course
that would be fun. Oh man, you need that's what you should have. You need to have like some sort of episode on like, I don't even know. That's it. I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
About that one.
We'll figure it out.
That idea has to like fully develop.
Yeah.
I got something for you though.
Yeah, it's getting later at night too, and I'm like I'm starting to shut down. So
right.
We'll pick back up on it. We'll pick back up on it.
For sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
This is a lot of fun, really. But we'll get that. And for all those who are like me and can't comprehend hearing something, I will have it scheduled on there so you can actually reach her on the Instagram, and of course, it does get posted on the website as well, so we'll be able to find her that way, and so you can actually see it right in front of you. Thank you so much again for coming on. It's been a blast, and until next time, and then that collaboration, we're going to try and figure it out.
Yes, sir. We will figure that out. Thank you so much for having me on. Of course. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It's been real.
It has been. Someone made fun of me last time. I'm going to say it again. Toodles.
I like that one. I usually go take it easy.
Take it easy.
I feel like such an old man saying it. Yeah, like that's what my dad used to say. Like, take it easy.
Yeah.
Hey.